Before this video starts, I want to give a massive shout out to all my channel members. If you want to receive a shout out, then become a channel member today and you'll be shown on screen like all these other channel members here. Anyways, enjoy the video. In version 15.5, we get to see the addition of a brand new Dynamite, this being Akane Tounji, or as referred to in her evolved form, Let's Go Akane. In this video, I want to go over as a unit and to see what she's able to bring to the battlefield. Before we start, like, comment, subscribe, the whole ordeal. The footage of Akane is at level 40. In order to get started, let's take a look at her stats. At level 30, she sports a pretty large 221,000 health and deals 42,000 damage with 5.1k DPS. She has 415 range, moves at 7 speed, sports a cooldown of 97.87 seconds, costs 49.50 to send out, and has 2 knockbacks. She's a target only Uber, only being able to target red and dark enemies. She also has a 60% chance to dodge her targets for 1.2 seconds and sports a 50% chance to freeze them for 4.8 seconds. Akane also sports knockback immunity. Right off the bat, Akane's usage as a target only unit limits to where she can be used. Specifically, she can only fight red and dark enemies. Against them, she's meant to act as a tank, but unlike normal tanks who use resistance abilities to bolster their bulk, Akane has a very high base health and a very high dodge chance of 60%. Red and dark enemies are filled to the brim with aggressive enemies that attack frequently. This allows Akane to trigger dodge very often, being able to wall off some of these threats with ease. To further amp up her defensive qualities, she has a 50% chance to freeze red and dark enemies. This gives her an uptime of 57.8%, which for a unit that can only target these enemies is a bit on the weaker side. If it was a 100% chance to freeze, then this uptime would be fine, but because it isn't, it can leave her crowd controlling a bit dry sometimes. Her cooldown is somewhat fast, meaning that depending on the stage, you could possibly get multiple of them to hit the field at once. She also sports knockback immunity, which for targets is useful for Dark Cyclone, Okame, and Poultrio. In fact, this immunity, along with the rest of her kit, effectively makes Okame a free win. However, this is where her target only starts to impact her in a negative way. Because she can't attack enemies she doesn't target, she already leaves herself vulnerable to a wide host of enemies. This is especially important to keep in mind, seeing as outside of the early game, red and dark enemies are usually paired with other enemies outside of these two traits, reducing Akane's overall defensive capabilities. To give an example of how target only is more of a negative on her, let's take a look at her case against Poultrio. While she is able to perform pretty well on the first 2 stages, the supports on the 3rd and 4th stage are able to just simply eat her alive. This is especially egregious on the 4th stage, where her damage is fine enough at higher levels to provide solid chip damage into the RS variants and Boar Jr. Sadly, her target only turns what would be a decent unit into the later Poultrio stages into a unit that gets shredded because she can't fight off any of the bird's support. Her somewhat slow speed can also be somewhat of an issue, as is the case against Queen V. While she can easily handle the Professor A, the issue lies in the fact that she can't slip into the B's blind spot without assistance from units like Bahamut and Thunderbolt, but at that point, it's just better to use Ro. While not something to knock her down for, her cost of almost 5,000 is also a bit high, though considering that red and dark are some of the highest cash dropping enemies in the game, this isn't that big of an issue. So, how good is Akane? Well, she is by far one of the most specialized units in the game. Her ability to deny red and dark enemies with ease allows her to be an amazing wall into them with dodge. Her freeze is okay, but considering that she is a target only unit, it is a bit underwhelming that her freeze is only 50%. However, outside of the rare situation where a stage only consists of red and dark enemies that pose a threat, then Akane suffers immensely from target only. Her not being able to defend herself from any sort of threat that doesn't fall into one of her 2 traits really hurts her performance. In the few stages that only share red and dark enemies though, like Okame, then she can really put in the work. With all that said, I want to thank you for watching this analysis of Akane Tounji. If you thought this insight was interesting, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy Battle Cats content, and comment down below your thoughts on them. I'd love to hear what you all think. Also, shout out to the following channel members: Dr. Deadly, Gomet, Virus Opero, Just a Shark, Gross Cat the Ultra, Potato King, Clamorous, Rarely Grover, Jade Rabbit, Tentacle Gaming, I May Be Dumb, I'm Too Few, Alex the Durex, Carlos Fabian, Hugberto, The Real Knight, Jenna Kaltenberg, The Gelatinous Cube, Werp ST, Scary Combat, Potato, The Generic Human Being, Cuckoo, and Kios for being silver members or higher. If you want to receive a shout out like these channel members here, then become a silver member or higher today. Becoming a channel member supports what I do in a way that helps keep the lights on and allows me to continue making content for all of you to watch. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day.